All right. Welcome for you guys who are in the audience, and welcome for everyone who's listening to this as a recording as well. So we have here MetaSin, who is the collaborations manager for Radiant Defi, who is a project on Fantom. We got connected through one of the groups that we both did AMA and did some marketing campaigns with, and we thought that they have a gamified aspect to their system. So we wanted to invite MetaSin onto our Discord and kind of let our community know a little bit more about what these guys are doing. So MetaSin, I'll give you the floor. If you could just like tell us a little bit about yourself and your own background in crypto, and tell us about your project.
Yeah, so I've actually been in crypto. I got really involved back, I guess, when the first kind of bull or the end of the bull market was going on at the beginning of last year. So, I got in with, 100% gains left to make, and I got really excited by that. And at that time, you're still learning how to, appropriately manage funds and things of that sort. So I saw all those gains go back to where I started. And, I've got smarter since then, kind of learned how to diversify a little bit more. But that's really like when I got involved in the crypto space. My team, and then we've got about 4 to 5 other people that are kind of helping us on in a regular basis. The core team and I, we've been working together probably the last 6 months, most of which on this project. Constantly developing our skills and pushing towards a huge development in the future. So we're just building out all the pieces for it, and this protocol was something that we came across and we're really excited about. The original, I guess, admiration came from like strong nodes when we started thinking about this, and strong nodes had been going so pun intended strong for so long, but we started to see some of the weaknesses that protocol had. And we collectively put our brains together, and we decided that we can do something better. We can do something with a little bit more ingenuity, a little bit more stability, a little bit more flexibility in the protocol. We came to find that and it's showing really now is this protocols in strong nodes and Atlas Cloud and a lot of other ones, they have really a lack of flexibility. They have one node option, one reward option, and it's the only really lever that they can pull is reducing the rewards or putting a larger tax on the token to reduce the sell-off when they need to. We've introduced a lot more levers, and we've actually taken away some of those crappier levers that make people less interested in getting involved in the protocol. So we can definitely dive in and talk a lot more about what Radiant is and how we're different, but we'll start there.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That sounds really cool. And yeah, I think the best thing is to kind of start from the baseline. Let's pretend like no one who's like here listening right now and who's going to be listening to the recording has invested in a node project, like is like pretty new to DeFi. If you could just start off like just like a basic understanding of like what a node is and what specifically it is that your project does.
Yeah. So that's a great place to start. So nodes, they're technically kind of live on the blockchain. They're what are called RPCs that live on the blockchain. Our protocol does not do that, and many quote-unquote node protocols have adapted away from that. That's because they're not tradable, they're not transferable, and you actually have a fee and a server fee because it lives on the blockchain and it takes space. So protocols like strong nodes, which is kind of the big group that really introduced the idea of these node protocols or nodes as a service protocol, they have a monthly fee just to get involved in their system. So what protocols are starting to do now, and our protocol is one of them, is rather than them being nodes that actually live on the blockchain, we're using NFTs instead. And the way that these protocols work is in strong nodes, I'll use that example because it's very simple to think about, is you buy a node, or in our case an NFT, with a certain amount of tokens, and it's your native token. And then as a reward for doing that, you're going to create an asset, a node or an NFT that is going to yield you a set percentage in perpetuity, so for forever. So it's going to earn you more and more yields of that token. That's where it's kind of gamified in the sense that do I compound and take my rewards and buy more yield generating NFTs or nodes, or do I take some rewards and sell some of them? Ours, we've advanced significantly from that, but that's the general premise. You purchase tokens, you use those tokens to buy these NFTs, then you stake the NFTs to earn a set amount of tokens per day for forever.
Awesome. That's really a really good description of that. And especially given like the market conditions, I think that's kind of a very pertinent thing to ask. So for you guys, compared to other projects who are doing the same things with those like RPC nodes, what is the revenue streams, or where is the outside creation coming from your project?
Yeah, so from a revenue stream perspective, we did what's called our initial staking offering. So as a part of that, 40% were emitted to the public, meaning that 40% of the token were distributed among the people that did our farming in our initial staking offering. 60% of the supply remains as rewards and operations, essentially. So we do have some tokens that we can use for operations. However, most of the proceeds actually comes from when people are creating these NFTs, where they're minting NFTs. A small portion of that goes to operations to continue to fund, the team and the continued development. A small portion goes to marketing. A small portion goes to LP, and then a bigger portion goes to building an external treasury. This treasury helps back and sustain the token price long term. So that's kind of all the different balance things. With the risk of getting too technical with it, a lot of these protocols have to sell a really large portion of their NFT proceeds to build that external treasury. The problem with that is they're now selling a large portion of their own token, which is going to reduce their price. We've actually found a solution for this, and that's why we're the first NFT node kind of protocol that actually has a 2-token system with different purposes. We're the first to do it. So at a very basic level, we have our primary token, which is called Raise. You can buy Raise on Spirit Swap right now. You can buy Raise, and then you can mint our Nebula NFTs, which is kind of our tier 1 NFT on the Raise line. And you can stake that for 0.5% APR per day. We sell just a portion of some of those node proceeds, but really those are just a mechanism of capturing a lot of the Raise that people earned during the farming and emissions period, in the initial staking offering. And then we have X-Rays, which we actually just launched. It's up like 4,000%. It's really stable. Both of our protocols really haven't moved at all negatively during these last couple of days of craziness, which is an awesome testament to what we're trying to do. We did pair with USDC, which I think is also helpful because we were worried about the market. But we created a secondary token called X-Ray. The beauty of this token is it's only purchased using LP tokens from Raise. So you have to buy the primary token, you have to create an LP pair with it, and then you can use that LP pair to buy X-Rays. Now, what that's going to give you access to is it's going to give access to a different NFT collection, which has much higher yields. So X-Rays is basically kind of our more gamified, higher yield protocol for long-term yield generation. Whereas Raise is more of, the people that just want a little bit more safer, cheaper, less lucrative option. They can get involved in the NFTs in that protocol. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, man. That sounds awesome. And so obviously you've like kind of seen the model of some of these other projects like Strong, and you've been like, okay, what can we do to make things different and to make it more innovative, more long lasting? So in the future, so like when you project out the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, where do you see the project going and what are you guys working towards?
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of flexibility, and I think the answer to that depends on probably what our protocol needs at the time. So we're doing limited number of collections. So we're reducing the inflation, we're reducing the unsustainable amounts that some of these projects emit and kind of give away that they can't really contain and control. So we're only doing collections in small portions as we feel like the protocol can handle it, and based on what incentive the protocol needs. So X-rays essentially allows us as the protocol to own and capture liquidity for Ray's token, making us much more stable in the long term. This is also a better way without affecting the Ray's chart negatively, is that we can build an external treasury without having to sell our tokens. So we're effectively improving two of the major pain points that strong nodes has. You still have to get people to invest and buy in your protocol and things of that sort, but we've substantially improved the flexibility in what we can do with different collections at different times. The long-term goal, the first thing on the kind of the roadmap is we're going to be expanding. We're going to be expanding cross-chain. We're actually going to build a bridge. So we're going to build a bridge that will probably go over to AVAX and then likely Binance. Not sure which one we're going to do first yet, but the goal is kind of multi-chain expansion that will allow some arbitrage opportunities, that will allow a lot more users to get involved, and then it will also allow us to build that bridge and be able to utilize it as kind of a utility for the token in a way of generating small amount of fees. And then we have several other kind of utilities we're looking at it expanding even past that. And obviously just different collections, different needs along the way.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. That's seems like you guys have really looked at the market, looked at the model, and made a ton of innovations. And one thing you said was obviously like a huge piece of news. You guys staying pretty stable among everything that's going on with the stock market, everything going on with the crypto market. So why do you think that is?
That's a good question. We had a little bit of a sell-off after our initial staking offering. Anytime you're giving basically rewards for people staking and things of that sort, like you're going to have some people that are just going to take those free, staking rewards and sell them. So we had a piece of that, and we knew we were going to have some of that, and the market conditions certainly didn't help. But pretty much everybody that wanted to sell off and sold off, and then everybody else is kind of quote unquote noded up or NFT'd and staking their NFTs at this point. So that leaves a little sell pressure. So now it's just going out and gaining more eyes, more traction. And yes, we've kind of reached a really good floor, we feel like. For X-Rays tokens, being as it's paired with LP, most of the people that were getting involved in that protocol were really looking to increase those long-term yields. So there are people that are actually interested in the protocol, understand what's going on, and are excited about the future.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. I mean, that's a huge testament to kind of what it is you guys have built to stay solid in a time when we're seeing so much volatility. You see what's going on with Fantom, with Terra, everything in the ecosystem. So, you guys should feel really, really proud of what it is that you're doing. And if you had to kind of, in summary, talk about, okay, someone who's, you're on the Fantom network, especially with what's going on in the market, like, why do you feel that Radiant is a good investment for somewhere to put their money into, especially given all the chaos and the volatility in the market right now?
Yeah, we kind of designed this protocol for a bear market so that you can continue to earn yields. And we paired with USDC, knowing the market kind of might tank. We actually may use the opportunity now when we go cross-chain, and we may actually make a pair with BNB or AVAX rather than USDC, with the idea that we could potentially ride that pairing back up, so we grow as the tokens hopefully grow again whenever we reach a bull market or things stabilize out a little bit. And once again, maybe that doesn't happen. We may end up just doing USDC, but that's a conversation we're still having. I feel like I'm not ever going to tell anybody to invest money, but we're trying to do things different. We're taking a node protocol and one of these, DeFi as a service protocols, and we're really taking it to what we feel like is the next level. I mean, we put weeks upon weeks trying to figure out the best opportunities to eliminate the issues that these protocols were having. And we feel like we've been successful at it thus far. Time will tell when we look at longevity and sustainability. If we did a good enough job, but right now we feel like we're in a really good place and we're excited to see what the future looks like. And our protocol is still relatively small at this point, right? So, a lot of growth, and I expect as we go multi-chain and we get more and more eyes, that our project will grow fairly quickly.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. And I'd say that definitely one of the questions that get asked is that with a lot of the node projects, like what we've seen is kind of an inverse curve over time, where it's like kind of like the excitement comes in and people put their money into the project, and that goes into those nodes, or with you guys with the NFTs. But then over time, people kind of see their rewards drop off. And so, what have you guys done to counter that, to make sure that's not happening?
Yeah, we just didn't oversell collections, make too big of collections, so that we have enough rewards to sustain. Now, the price sustaining is a little bit more difficult challenge, but being able to have kind of that external treasury from the X-Rays token is kind of our strategy in kind of keeping those prices more stable and regulated. It's also the reason we did an initial staking offering, is because we didn't want the pump and dump that typically is being seen in all these protocols and is killing them before they even get out the gate. So this was a better way, we felt, of kind of natural price discovery and to get the right people in the protocol at the end of it, and not to release our kind of NFTs until after that period, so that people knew kind of the token price going in, versus noting at the top when it was really expensive and seeing it go lower.
Awesome, man. I mean, clearly from this, like, you guys have really looked at the model. You've really looked at what's worked, what hasn't worked, looked for the flaws in it, and really been innovative about doing things really differently. I love the fact you have the NFTs in there, about the initial staking offering that you did, having two different tokens, having the treasury. So it's clear that your team, you've got a really great team who's really thought this through and really going to give you guys a great opportunity to carve out a different spot in the space compared to other people who've tried to do something in the same world. If we head over to, let's see if we had any other questions. Cool. So we have a question from Disco Chuck. He said, are these NFTs similar to Liquid Driver's F NFTs in that they have their own unique address and similar management mechanisms like claiming rewards, extending locking, adding total staking amounts? And also asked about governance voting capability.
Yeah, they're currently not for governance, although we do plan on having a token that's going to be strictly for governance in the future. As far as all the ins and outs of Liquid Driver, I can't say for sure because I don't know their protocol 100%. Ours really serve one purpose right now. They are transferable. But their main role right now as utility is to be staked and earn rewards from. So I think there's some similarities from a Liquid Driver perspective in that case.
Awesome. Discussion also asked about the treasury that you guys have. Like, what, outside of supporting the price of the protocol tokens, are you doing anything with it in terms of investments in partner protocols or in terms of outside investment?
Yeah, being as we just really started X-Ray, which is our primary treasury right now, we're kind of still weighing what we want to do with everything. We know the most important thing we got to get out right away is we're going to work on that bridge. So there's probably some operational funds that will go to that from a treasury perspective. But the rest of it, we actually care to keep that more in the protocol and sustainable in the protocol. So the initial treasury will actually likely be used to go multi-chain and will be used as the initial liquidity pools.
Okay, awesome. Yes,
the treasury actually stays stays in kind of the ecosystem. So it's kind of transparent in that sense, and at the same time, it's helping to bring new users, new eyes to the protocol, and it still is kind of owned by the community as the liquidity pool.
Awesome. Sounds like, yeah, you guys have really thought this through and have like a really awesome plan there. So love what you guys are doing with the treasury and with going cross chain. On that note about going cross chain, especially given like early on, what's the philosophy behind that being like kind of an early thing in the roadmap to go onto two different chains versus say trying to become really big on one chain before looking at moving in the future?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think you guys have probably seen this too. Fantom's volume right now has not been great. It's been kind of decreasing ever since Andre left, and current market swings aren't doing anything to particularly help that. Not that any market right now is particularly great. So we feel like our protocol is better and will be more sustainable when it's on multi-chain. And that's also a really quick, easy way for us to add, well, it's not easy, but it's a way for us to add more utility and generate, some more funds for the actual protocol through the bridge mechanism. So we can work on making it more sustainable, which we feel like it's important to get something like that out early.
Awesome. Hey, just really feel like you knocked the answers out of the park. It's very clear that you guys have really got something good going along, and the intelligence to look at how people have done it before and had success in that model, but then also look at what hasn't gone so well and to be able to make those improvements. Like that's kind of what the space is all about, is the innovation, and especially given these conditions, I think that the projects that have the solid fundamentals and really have thought things through and really have a long-term vision, they're the ones who are going to come out of this and be in a much stronger position after. And I think the ones that didn't have those solid fundamentals, they're the ones that aren't going to be able to last through this uncertainty in the market. So yeah, before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No. No. It's pretty much covered it.
Awesome. All right. Well, like I said, this has all been recorded too, so we're gonna put this out with our community on our social channels as well. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come over and tell us about what it is that you guys are working on. Like there's something we're gonna start doing more and more of. We want to be introducing our community to projects that have real innovation and are doing something differently, and the projects that we think have bright futures. So we appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, I will add, I'll post all of our links and you can put it with your video just so people can check us out and check out our NFTs. The one thing I will add is like our NFTs are awesome looking. So most people don't care about the NFTs in this type of space, but the NFTs they're kind of animated and they're beautiful, quite honestly. So make sure you check those out as well. We'll also say just make sure you check out our docs. It really does a full description if anything wasn't clear today. And then just to learn how to buy, raise, or X-raise, there's a buying guide on our docs as well. And make sure if you have any questions, you can ask us on Discord.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. Yeah, too. Obviously, the art aspect of it definitely adds another element to it, and kind of combining the two aspects of the great looking NFTs, which I think most people are aware of and kind of like generally around the world, like when thinking of Bored Apes Yacht Club, but then having like the genuine utility coming from a DeFi project and combining those two things means you can appeal to both sides of it. So yeah, that's really smart.
That's the goal. We just don't like to do anything half-assed.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is Radiant DeFi and MetaSin. Thanks for being a part of this event.
Absolutely. Looking forward to hosting you guys here in an hour.